I hate to be the one to break this to everybody, but we all die. Even famous people die. Even famous people you like die. Even famous people you don't like die.
That's a really shocking revelation to me. Are you saying that even Santa Claus would die? What about the Easter Bunny?
Look, they're magical creatures, beings.
Yep.
So that's a different wheelhouse.
Great.
But depending
Good
on
to know they won't die.
I didn't say that.
Oh.
I'm sure there's some kind of magical curse that can kill them, is what I'm saying.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Well, good, because they're monsters. They've been around too long.
So I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about some actors who have been brought back to life for the silver screen. They died in real life and using various methods.
They brought them back in real life.
No.
Oh.
Didn't happen. But they continue a performance or complete a performance in a film using a variety of methods, which we'll talk about. They've been doing this for decades. It's got a little bit better as we go.
You'd hope so, yeah. Yep.
Sometimes it's gotten worse. I think this comes off the back of Carrie Fisher being included in the new Star Wars by using existing footage of her from episode 7 and potentially 8, which is I think is a good way to go about it if they've got existing stuff, because CGI people look weird.
Oh boy. It's that uncanny valley, isn't it?
It really is. Now, I know a lot of people are they liked the Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, but I don't mean you in particular. It is a stunning achievement.
Isn't it though? Yeah.
But my brain is on fire when I look at it.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is an incredible achievement, but at the same time, yuck. You've really let us down.
I think it's absolutely going to get better. But I think what's strange about this one in particular is because it's based off an existing person that we've seen so well, and it's supposed to line up to A New Hope, you've already got a very good idea of what that person looks like.
That's
true. And then to replicate it exactly, yeah.
And if you're a big fan, you've seen all those movies so many times.
That's it. That being said, though, a lot of people think it looks great.
Uh-huh. I don't.
Sure. There's a CGI Carrie Fisher in that, but that actually wasn't... She actually hadn't died when that had happened, but that is an entirely CGI recreation of that character, which I also think looks real weird. But that's just me, Mason. Here's something else that didn't look as weird. Philip Seymour Hoffman died in between Hunger Games movies or something, or during filming the fourth one, or the third one that was part 2 or something. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
But they had enough footage where they kind of worked around him into the film. There's definitely less of him in that movie.
Yeah, right, uh-huh.
And there are elements where they've clearly put him into the... Like, there's a bit at the end where Katniss Everdeen shoots Julianne Moore through the heart. I don't know if you remember that
Oh, I remember it.
And then it cuts to him and he's just smiling to himself. He loves
He's just chuckling, yeah.
He's having a good time with it.
He's just sitting on a director's chair that says Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's drinking a cup of coffee.
Watching that scene again, it's weird because she's supposed to kill the Emperor of the universe,
Yes,
Donald Sutherland, and standing directly above him in the same line of sight is Julianne Moore. It takes no effort for her to slightly change her aim and
From
shoot
certain
her.
perspectives, you wouldn't even know she did it.
That's right. But she did.
Yep.
And that kind of works. I think they were wise not to bring back with CGI also because there's costs associated with that. But there was supposed to be a scene at the end, and I think it's in the book, where he gives a bit of a pep talk to Katniss Everdeen. He's like, this is the future and whatever. I can't remember it. I've read the book.
And in the movie, he's replaced by a sassy robot.
That's right.
Listen, Katniss. Just remember to be yourself.
But what they actually get, he writes a letter and Woody Harrelson reads her the letter.
Yeah, right.
Which is fine. I mean, what do you do? He's dead. It's not a terrible way to do it, I think. Yeah. I didn't really like that movie, though.
No, they kind of petered out.
They did a bit.
Didn't they?
Petered out. Petered out. There's a character in that called Cedric Diggory. No.
Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Another CGI character is Nancy Marchand. Have you ever seen The Sopranos?
Yes.
She plays Tony Soprano's mother, and instead of just being like, yeah, she died because she's old, they CGI her head onto a body. Have you seen it?
I've seen the movie, I've seen the show, but I don't recall this.
Horrifying.
Right.
It's so terrifying. I don't recommend looking at it, but if you're watching this video, here it is.
Terrific.
Well done. It's TV, and it's either late 90s, or I think it's early 2000s.
Yeah, that could be
well
great.
beyond
and also, like,
capabilities.
That would have been like the whole budget for that season.
Let me tell you, it didn't look like it was the whole budget.
We can have an additional gunfight, or we can CGI this dead woman's head onto this body. How do you feel?
That's it. Have you got another one, Mason?
Speaking of Italians, what about the great Marlon Brando?
Okay.
In Superman Returns.
That's right.
Because he was always Jor-El.
He was.
But then he was an ex-Jor-El.
He died.
He died.
And then many years passed.
Yep. And they were like, let's bring him back, but let's bring back Jor-El,
Yeah.
but let's not recast him for some reason.
Yeah, well, it's set in the Christopher Reeve-verse.
I guess that's true, yeah.
I think this one works. They completely digitally recreated him because he's obscured by being in a crystal.
That's true, yeah.
It's not him standing there. There's not a
Yeah.
conversation. I think...
Yeah, they should have obscured Tony Soprano's mother with a big crystal.
Absolutely, they should have. But yeah, look, whether or not you think it's unnecessary for this movie that a lot of people hated, I think it's fine. You're not a fan. But no, I think it's completely fine.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it turned out okay in the end, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
used dialogue from the previous films.
They
and whatever.
figured out the limitation.
They
And
did.
They found a workaround. They didn't
Yeah.
try. They wouldn't be like, just put him out there on Front Street and let's hope for the best. They went,
In a crystal.
what is this movie mostly about? Crystals. All right, let's put him in a crystal. Yeah.
The Game of Death was famously Bruce Lee's last movie, which he died during filming.
Yeah.
Very little of it is completed, and that is evident in the final product. And they use all sorts of techniques to bring Bruce Lee back to life. None of them worked. There's a bit where they've superimposed a towel
on
over
him,
him.
yeah.
They've just stuck a cardboard face of Bruce Lee to a mirror. And then the guy's sitting behind the reflection of it. They use body doubles that look nothing like him. They use footage from his own funeral because they fakes his death within the film.
Yes.
It is horrendous.
There is, speaking of, and this isn't bringing a character back to life, but in the movie Plan 9 from Outer Space, Bela Lugosi, he died during filming, and so they replaced him with like a stagehand.
Yeah.
Who
He's much taller.
He's much taller, but they attempt to fool the viewer by just having him put like a cloak over his face the whole time.
And you'd never even know.
You wouldn't know, except he's a foot taller.
No, you didn't let me finish. You'd never even know that they were supposed to be the same character. Ha 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 ha!
Hey, speaking of the Lees,
Yeah, right.
what about Brandon Lee?
Brandon Lee went out during The Crow.
Yeah.
A lot of that was finished though, wasn't it? Luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unluckily that he died. But how did they
Yes.
get around that? So the stuff that they needed. Was
they
body
just,
doubles.
They just
wasn't
gave
it?
the powers of the Crow to somebody else.
Oh, who looked exactly like him.
Correct, yeah.
That's very lucky.
Yeah.
You can't tell for a lot of that movie, can you? I think there's enough of him.
Yeah.
And they use shots of the back of him and
And I think there was some rudimentary CGI. as
Yeah,
well.
right, yeah.
I think maybe that was one of the first. That's one of the first instances I recall
yeah.
where they did do that.
I think they were lucky enough though that he'd done like at least 80 or 90%.
Yeah, right.
Where that works. But no, I think that's kind of respectfully done and it works.
Yeah.
And the sequels are equally great. They put
end with a joke. That's good.
Thanks.
This is a bit of a downer, so good to end with a funny one.
Laurence Olivier, for some reason, was brought back for Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's
right.
a bit Marlon Brando-esque because he's not in a big crystal. He's a big electric face.
Mm-hmm.
Because was supposed to be the memories of some dude. I barely remember this, but I was just reading about why this happened. Apparently, a producer wanted to use him because he hadn't seen him in a movie for a while. He died in 1989.
Yeah.
That's why you hadn't seen him in a movie for a while.
yeah.
That's insane, right?
Yeah, yeah. His intern
I
suggested.
haven't seen a dinosaur for a while.
His intern suggested maybe he watch a movie of Laurence Olivier's on VHS, and then he would have seen a movie recently.
JFK comes back in a lot of stuff. Like, it's usually archival footage. Even Forrest Gump, he interacts with him. But then, in Transformers 3, whatever that one's called, they just put a CGI JFK at the start of it. And it's horrifying. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Do you remember
You've seen
that?
some bad
I've
stuff.
seen some bad stuff, Mason. I've travelled. You know that about
No,
me.
I get it.
Riding
Yeah.
his bike, I'm riding a motorbike!
But yeah, I don't understand why they did any of it.
No.
Yeah.
Just say the president, you know?
Yeah.
Or get an actor that looked like him.
Yeah. Or just don't show him.
Don't do some voice work.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's very
Don't make
weird.
that movie.
Yeah, all of these things.
Just eliminate Transformers 3.
Yeah, that's right. Jump
Which will-
straight to Bumblebee.
Well, that's going to leave a void, so let's eliminate all the other Transformers
you have to,
movies.
don't you? Yeah. I think most famously, and I think it's one of the best examples of it working really well, and a lot of it has to do with technology of the day, is completing Paul Walker's role in Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Whichever one that was. I think that movie holds up really well.
I agree, yeah.
And he filmed a fair chunk of it, but a lot of it was digital face replacement with his brother, using previous footage, stunt doubles, and a bunch of other stuff. And you might not be able to tell if you didn't know, I would say.
I would absolutely say you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to tell, yeah. It's a good enough blend of real stunts and CGI
Yeah.
But I think you sort of go into that world a little bit.
That's it. Yeah.
And then it just sort of washes over you.
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised.
I also think it works because it's nice that he still exists within that universe.
That's
true. He goes
yeah.
off and lives with his family or whatever he decides to do. There's been talk of bringing him back though.
Could be tricky.
Could be tricky. But no, I think that's a good one to end on.
Yeah.
There's also other examples. There's John Candy in some Western
Yeah.
movie where they put him in, and there's various examples from across time and space, probably.
Yeah.
In different dimensions. But if you've got a favourite one, or even is there an actor that you'd like to see return somehow?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like bringing actors back with
Yeah,
CGI.
right, exactly.
Well, there's also talk of actors scanning themselves digitally so that could be done later.
In
so
future, yeah.
So who owns Robert Downey Jr.'s face? Probably Bob Iger.
Yep.
He
I was
probably
going to say his wife, but probably Bob Iger.
That's right. You know, he only gives him his face back for Marvel films.
Oh, and then otherwise he's a faceless man.
He's a faceless man,
Wow.
yeah. There you go. Thanks for watching this video, though. This is actually... No, this isn't. But we have a podcast called The Weekly
Sure do.
Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV show. It comes out every Monday. There's also videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and...
Thursday?
You know it is, Mason.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you had to think about it, but you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Dino stuff.
Cool. Thanks for watching this video.
We'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Next video.
When I see you again.
Next video or podcast.
Anyway, grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.